What's up, Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to read your tarot cards here today. This will be a general message. It will include both love at the beginning and then money, career, finances more at the end. So anyone's welcome into this reading, particularly my Earth babes, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. But yeah, anyone's welcome. Please just come into the reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something. Oh my goodness, 10 of coins. To better yourself. And of course, if the messages that come through don't resonate, feel free to push them aside. They may resonate for you at a later date, so you may choose to revisit these messages. Or just push them aside and assume they're going out to someone else. Only take away what resonates with you, what makes sense in your life. Again, be open to the possibilities, but you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. So just do keep that in mind as we make our way through the reading. All right, and happy birthday to the Taurus gang out there, or any Tauruses in your life. Let's do it. All right, for love and relationships. So, 10 of coins, something of value, big money, but you can also look at that as something that sort of is in alignment with what you want to build into the future. Some of you may actually end up having some sort of business opportunity or prospect going into business with your sweetheart or your husband, your wife. It could be something family related, but I am going to read for romantic love. Let's see. This is going to be a challenge, but in a really good, beautiful way. It's something I would encourage you to pursue because it's going to force you to communicate with your partner in ways that you've never had to before. Even if it's not business, it's almost like, because it's showing up as 10 of coins first, 10 of pentacles, right? This to me is for a lot of you who are already in a relationship that potentially has long-term for sure, or if you've already been with your person long-term, there might be some sort of project, let's just call it that, even if it's not business related, where it's going to force you to have to communicate with your person in ways that you never have before. So it's almost like a really good building exercise for kind of digging deeper and not just settling for, I don't want to say surface level, right? If you're in a relationship, it's beyond surface level, but it's a challenge for you to let your guard down regarding this particular topic or area of your life. But with some sort of important challenge in your relationship, it brings this huge sense of pride and confidence and mastery over something that was challenging for one or both of you. There could be an issue regarding money in your relationship, your house, your car, whatever, that has been like a really long-standing issue and neither person never wanted to deal with it. It is eclipse season, right? The North Node is in Taurus. So by default, there is kind of like an earthy nature of what we're headed towards. And it might be regarding, your land, your property, your money, your stuff, earthy type things. Anyway, there's some challenge in your relationship, but the thing is, I actually see the outcome being quite strong. So whatever this is, don't shy away from it, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's difficult. Reward is what follows if you follow through with this in a very dignified way. I think that's important. The Queen of Wands doesn't shy away from fear. Sometimes she has to be blunt and point out the elephant in the room. But it doesn't mean she, I would encourage you to use tact, courtesy, responsibility, right? Because I think that's important. It's not about pushing the blame or saying something that's going to, rub the person the wrong way. But at the same time, calling a spade and being kind of solution-oriented, knowing that this is something you probably want to continue to nurture and grow and develop into the future. But yeah, there's a moment where you really have to let your guard down about something. I would also say too, I'm almost getting like a Libra energy coming from this, even though it's wands, but something about finding a happy medium or an equal balance, needing to incorporate both people's ideas or perspective. That's where the win, that's where the victory lies. I feel like this is slowly turning into a money reading, but anyway, let's keep reading for romance. This may or may not be connected. That one seems like a solid partnership, especially with a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It doesn't have to be. This one could potentially be indicating new love. So for my earth signs who are single and looking, or kind of at the beginning stages of something, there might be new love with a Gemini. There might be a Gemini who wants to give back to you. Or repay a favor. I actually almost see this as a division in, I don't know why I heard division. That's funny. What I was going to say is I feel like this might be a friend. And they end up sort of pursuing you in a more romantic way than they have before. And it might sort of catch you off guard. For some of you, you already know this person, but I don't know if they didn't reciprocate the feelings at one time or you didn't. It's possible too, you already thought this person was in a relationship or taken or not available. But the thing is, I actually think you're open to it. It's not someone who you're like, oh my God, I would never date them. They approach you in some way that's very grounded, very earthy. But with these two, there is romantic feelings there. If anything, they may feel like you're at a distance or you're unreachable. I don't mean literally. I think you might be very busy with other things going on. And so maybe they never felt like it was the right time to come in and make that offer or start that conversation up. But I think they will. There may also be a connection to twins here, with it being a Gemini card. It doesn't have to be a Gemini, but I am kind of getting a twin vibe here. So yeah, maybe twin flames. I haven't decided how I feel about that yet. And it's not really any of my business what your stance on that is. But if that's something that you're interested in, maybe that might be coming through. Let's get a little bit more on that. Ace of Cups. If you're single and looking, I'm almost getting this sort of like small town mentality. Like I know everybody. There's nobody else in the pool. There may actually be the arrival of new people or meeting the neighbors, or I don't mean that literally, but the idea of new people coming in who didn't exist in your circle, whether it's your social circle or your work circle or your area, your community. New people might be coming in. There's like a very new vibe with the Ace of Cups. Someone you haven't met yet. Ooh, yeah, who definitely has like a lot to offer, long-term potential. Some of you seem to have met someone who doesn't share the same idea of happily ever after than you, but I will say it doesn't mean that you guys wouldn't be a good match. But there's a difference of opinion of long-term goals. Which is kind of interesting because I feel like I'm almost being guided to say, but don't cut them off too soon. Like, don't judge a book by its cover, because it's possible there's something about the influence of this person's upbringing has very much determined what they're seeking out in their romantic life, and it sort of counteracts what it is that you desire. Help me out here, Spirit. Yeah, I was going to say, it comes from a place of lack, of feeling like they don't deserve it or that life is always going to disappoint. This person has a mentality of like always preparing for the worst. And so I think at a younger age, maybe when they first started dating, they didn't have a great experience. So they almost assume that if they make long-term plans, it will fail. So it's almost like you found someone who's committed themselves to just being not necessarily bachelorette vibes. Like, they're interested in dating and possibly exclusivity, but like the idea of marriage scares the crap out of them. So it's almost like that person's like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get married. Again, I'm not sure I would, and we're talking early stages, guys, right? Like if this is date 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, I wouldn't put a lot of stock in that, because if they were to meet the right person, the circumstances would be different. But this is someone who's kind of been, I don't know if unlucky in love or just has been seeking out partners who confirm or reinforce the beliefs they have about marriage. Like they end up dating. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. But there's something about a change in belief system. And I'm not trying to say like, oh my God, they meet you and you change their life. But I will say there's kind of that vibe here. So, I don't want to oversell this. And I also don't want you to engage actively with someone who you flat out know you don't have the same plans, right? Because, earth signs will be like, well, that's a waste of my time. I totally get that too. I guess because it's ace, I'm saying early on, there might be differences of opinion. That's really important with Gemini. But we also have to remember Gemini is the mutable air sign, right? So the changeable mind, the adaptable mind, the flexibility in what they think is true or their beliefs. This person is coming from a place of grief, and so it really kind of shook them and knocked their idea of what it means to be in love or happily ever after, the Cinderella story. But with time, I even like this, the balancing of the scales, something about the connection they share with you. You may have a very strong influence on their opinion of love, and that, you know what, maybe there are good people in the world. Maybe I had just, met a string of bad ones, or I didn't love myself enough at the time to realize that, I had the world in my hands, and that, I can change my path as I move forward. I do like this connection. just make sure you're not rushing in to be the hero and the savior and sort of pull this person out of their slump, because ultimately that's something they need to do for themselves. You can help, you can encourage, you can motivate, but ultimately this person does need to do their healing work. But I also think, to me, this says time heals all wounds. Give this person time, give this relationship space to breathe. I wouldn't go into, suffocation mode of, let's lock it down and put a title on it, put a ring on it. Allow this to develop organically, and I don't know, I think you might be surprised. Yeah, I think this is saying something big is on the horizon, and it might defy your expectations a little bit. I'm almost getting the idea of what you're looking for. You're so busy looking for that one specific thing that you're actually missing, the other ships passing you by. Be open-minded. That goes out to you guys too, the earth signs. Being open-minded, because I'm almost getting this idea of the mirror image or the twin. Don't try and date yourself. And I mean that more in going out in the world trying to find someone who likes exactly what you like, or who looks like what your family looked like. Or do you understand what I mean? This, we have to have this sort of like identical personality or character traits. And I think something that this relationship would offer you is the other perspective. This person may challenge you in a really good way to sort of get outside your comfort zone or to see beyond a limited horizon. I really like that. And it goes both ways. You seem to open them up more in an emotional capacity. Someone who didn't necessarily feel comfortable expressing themselves before in relationships and was guarded. There's sort of this overflow, this abundance of emotion coming out, but it's not messy per se. It's not lots of tears and this and that. It's a comfortability in opening their heart up to new possibilities. Really like that. Yeah. I feel like this person is teetering on the edge of this sort of transformational chapter, and you seem to be the initiator of that. And I know you guys are going to roll your eyes when I say this, but whether this person ends up with you or not, in a sense, this feels very fated because you offered something to this person that they wouldn't have seen otherwise, and vice versa. There's a strong connection here of something you were meant to encounter in a love relationship. So, whether it lasts, 50 years into the future or 5 months or whatever it is, this feels very much fated, or like a romantic encounter that was meant to be, because you both gain a lot from it. I believe this is a Jupiter card. Jupiter and Capricorn. So maybe this potentially goes out to some of my Capricorns especially. But anyway, that's what I see for love this week. Pisces, Scorpio, Gemini, Aries, Leo, Sag. Off the top of my head, that's sort of what I see. It could be any sign though, guys. Don't get too wrapped up in that. All right, let's talk about money. Whoops, that was a terrible shuffle. Money, career, finances. What can I tell my earth signs? What's coming in this week? Money, career, finances, the Queen of Swords, the law, legalities, contracts. This feels very, well, actually, some of you will beg to differ, and that's okay. We have different minds, and that's awesome. This seems very dry, though. This seems very like Excel spreadsheet to me, which, to me is not interesting, but maybe some of you thrive in that environment. This seems very like cut and dry, numbers, math, like no creativity here. A job that's very just to the point. But let's open it up a little bit. I'm saying that mostly because of her expression and what the card is telling me, not just because she's the Queen of Swords. Because the Queen of Swords is connected to Libra. Libra's ruled by Venus, so that can be money, that can be love, affection, attention. I don't get that with this. I see some of you, I don't want to say suffering, that's too hard a word, but taking a job that it doesn't make you feel alive. It's paying the bills, and that's great. But I think the universe may be encouraging you to think creatively. If you are at a job that you don't love, but to the point where it's almost like causing maybe a little bit of depression or just kind of numbness. That's what I feel with this card. Like your brain is on autopilot because you could do this job in your sleep. Maybe you keep that job because it does serve a larger purpose in your life. For a lot of you, it does. But I think the whole message here is incorporating new things and ideas, meeting people that does bring you a spark of joy and creativity, or taking the palette of what you currently have and mixing up the ingredients to make it a little bit more fun, shaking up your routine or your schedule, or introducing something new into this system that would make it's like giving it fresh air again, or breathing life back into it. I don't know if that makes sense for anyone. Some of you may be looking for a job, but you have a lack mindset. It's like, well, I'm never going to find anything, or I don't have the credentials, or I'm never going to make the pay grade I need. You need to change your mind in that sense. Yeah, there is an ending to something that has been ongoing for a long time, and it's a source of aggravation, again, depression. I don't even see anxiety here, though. I see numbness. Like, I don't feel anything at all, and it's like the annoyance of this has gone on so long, I've just accepted it as my fate. That is going to be shaken up. Like, we're in eclipse season. A lot of air energy here, too, so it's possible this could end up being... Now, I am reading for money and career, right? This could end up being a quote-unquote, like, divorce from your current role, or... something that's a long time coming. I think most of you are going to choose to leave a situation, or again, almost like Phoenix from the ashes, like rebirth it in a new way, because it desperately needs change. On the off chance for a few of you, this is a layoff or a firing, it would not be a shock. It would be something that you knew was a long time coming. And I'm going to be honest, this does not seem very Earth-like to me. I don't know if it's a cross-watchers reading or some of you just strongly resonate with whatever, I'm just going to throw a random element out there. Maybe some of you resonate more with water signs, right? Maybe you're cuspy, air to water, whatever it is. I'm sorry, Earth. You know what I'm trying to say. It wouldn't be a shock if you were released or let go because you stopped putting in effort, because you stopped caring. You didn't mentally connect with this anymore. Again, I don't think that's for most of you out there, but it is a possibility, especially because it's eclipse season, which has a lot to do with like pointing us in the right direction towards our fate and destiny. Something that desperately needed to be shaken up and changed. That does happen. It might happen by your own choice, on your own accord. Others of you, there might be a nudge from the universe to get you out of a situation where it was tapped out. There was nothing left good in this. So there you go. I like that much better. So nights bring change and movement into our life. This is a practical move. It's building or initiating something new. This is important with the Knight of Pentacles, Virgo energy, that utilizes your natural skills and abilities and talents and doesn't let them go wasted. I think that's important. It's like you're sitting on great stuff, but maybe you're not in a position where you're allowed the freedom to incorporate it or change it up. And so something here allows you to progress forward. And I'm just getting the idea it was like underused or underutilized. Some of you are searching a job where you can make more money, because for some of you, you've tapped out in your pay grade, or however you want to phrase it. It might not even be a firing or quitting. It could just be like, I'm literally stuck here because I can't up my degrees anymore. Like, I have everything and this is what this company is willing to pay me. And so you might be seeking other opportunities to add to your income, whether it's a new job or a side hustle, or I don't know, some of you might just be selling old stuff to get new money, right? But there's something about like, I'm tapped out here and I'm chasing the coin. So where's the coin at? Like, how do I get to it? Some of you, that's like your mentality right now. Oh, interesting. This is not really a tarot card. It's the letter from the author, but I actually love that it came out. Some of you, I almost take that as like a writing a resignation or putting out messages of communication, whether it's in a meditation to the universe or applying to some job, writing inquiries to businesses or colleagues or coworkers that you might want to collaborate with. I quite literally take this as like writing and communication to help you get out of this bind of being stuck in a financial, I don't know if it's financial drought. I don't sense that per se. For some of you, it might be, right? Maybe you're recovering from a layoff and you're still looking for jobs. Get the messages out there, because I almost see this as casting a wider net, being open-minded, but messaging people that you wouldn't normally message or whatever it is, LinkedIn or Facebook, or I don't know, maybe you're hopping on Craigslist, whatever it is. Maybe you're posting your resume. Maybe you're looking for a recruiter or a headhunter or something like that. Get the messages out there for what you want, because that's going to help the universe to help you to manifest it. It's like, help me help you. Maybe some of you are going to create tarot decks. I don't know. That's for one or two of you. Or explore careers that involve far more writing, blogging. Maybe you're going to write more in your journal, and that's going to help you sort of get clearer in terms of your alignment for the future. And again, speaking strictly about, financial stuff. So tell me a little bit more about that. The Ace of Wands, where do we get the passion back? That's what this was lacking. As I said, it's quite literally something very vanilla. You could do it in your sleep. And it's like, I almost see like her little tears in this reading specifically. It's like, you're kind of dying on the inside. Like, where's the life? Where's the light? Where's the fire? It's over here. You have to move. You have to shake it up. You have to do something different. Some of you may quite literally have to move for a new opportunity. Some of you are putting out messages and it seems like you're getting radio silence. It's like you'll start this conversation with a recruiter or an employer and then they just kind of drop it on you. Tell me more about that. Is that going to last? Are they going to... Six of Swords. So you can't harp on one. And I'm speaking directly to my Tauruses right now. Some of you, it's like you have your mindset on, I'm only going to work for this person. I'm only going to work in this location. I'm only going to work for, this amount of money. If you are banging down the door of someone and you're getting radio silence back, you need to release and find another alternative. Because here's the thing, this opportunity may come around exactly as you want it to, but putting unnecessary effort into that one thing when it's like you're trying to bust down a cement door ain't gonna happen. Like, it's such a waste of your time and energy, and you do have that. So it's like, assume that one's just on pause and they may open up the channels of communication later, but put all that energy into, again, like diversifying. Put it in, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's exactly what this is. You need to spread those messages, those communications to different sources, to different people. It's like expand your territory, your network. Some of you may work in a job where you're being asked to expand your network, your branch, your location, I'm hearing things like locale. I feel like nowadays pretty much everybody's on the internet, but similar, like if you're old school postal mailing things out, it's like you got to get online, you got to use the web, do you understand what I mean? Finding new avenues where you can spread your messages or your business or your products, whatever you have. Yeah, for some of you, there is literal travel. Yeah, again, this whole thing of walking away from something that you're tapped out. At one point in time, it made you happy. At one point in time, it was a shiny paycheck and it felt great. Now it's like it's dried up. There's nothing there. It served you to a certain degree, but I think you're existing in a space where you're not growing anymore, and that's like your one job, right? Here in this lifetime as a spiritual being is to grow and develop in different areas of life, and here it's like something's got to give. Something's got to end here. A lot of you are going to choose to walk away with these three cards. Or again, to initiate some new initiative. That seems rather double entendre or repetitive rather. Taking the initiative to add and incorporate something new, to bring something from the outside world back in. That seems very Capricorn to me. Like the idea of limitations, Saturn, boundaries. This is what it is, and if you stray from the law, from the boundary, from the inner circle, it's like you're out. And that's ironically exactly what this needs. We have to bring something from the outside back in to revive it, to refresh it. Yeah, there's the Ten of Cups. So I actually love this. Expanding out of your limited belief system, expanding out of your comfort zone, expanding your business's network, territories, clientele. That's where the happiness is. And not only that, cups in a reading can be indicative of, what fills your cup, what fills your bank account, your resources. Money is a currency, right? That's where the money is. It's outside of whatever this is. You have to venture out. I cannot be more clear about that. Some of you may end up joining a family business or participating in it more than you ever desired or wanted to. It's almost like there's been a fallback or there's been an opportunity for you to work in a group of people who you would consider family-like. Maybe it's like a family friend and they had a business and like, hey, well, if you ever want to work for me. For a lot of you, you're going to be like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. So even though this wasn't my dream scenario, I'm going to do it anyway. And you would be surprised. It's almost like the universe has been waiting for you to see this. Because for a lot of you, it's been there for a while. This opportunity to navigate this way or try that out. It's not new for a lot of you. You just didn't realize how happy it would make you just by simply switching or doing more of that. Because again, it's like refreshing. It recharges your battery because it's just, there's something very lifeless about this. Some of you are going to go into business with your spouse, your husband, your wife, possibly a child too. You know, maybe you have a child in the working world who's going to start their own business and you're like, you know what? I'm going to be an investor, like something like that. The Seven of Cups, what will make you happy? That's your biggest question this week regarding your money and finances and jobs. Is there's a lot of options out there. And I say this gently to my earth signs, but where are you lying to yourself? Where are you enabling a lack of growth and development in your own life? Because maybe it's safe or it's familiar. But again, if you're not growing and learning new things and being curious, that's very important for Gemini, right? Sun in Gemini is what this card is. So some of you are really being encouraged to learn more things, take on new knowledge, new information, going back to school, picking up a book, you know, getting certified in that thing. And maybe it has nothing to do with that. Maybe you can keep doing this, but by enrolling in that, you know, massage therapy course, you're like, you know what? I could make that whole thing a business. And it's a transition. You know, for earth signs, it might not happen overnight. It's going to be a Knight of Pentacles where you put the effort, you will see the reward and the results. But what you're lacking right now anyway is passion and moving towards something that you see potential in. What lights your fire? Go do that, right? Seven of Cups, I believe, is Venus and Scorpio. Some of you are practicing poor spending habits as a cushion of this sort of depression or anxiety you're having about something that it's just not pleasing and happy for you anymore. And so you may be overspending. You may have like a shopping addiction or using substances, whether it's whatever, drink or weed or other drugs or whatever, almost to like, it's ironic. It's numbing you even more, but like your job or whatever this project is, it's numbing you enough. So Seven of Cups kind of says we have to transform something to do with pleasure principle, or because that's what Venus is. It wants to be comfortable. It wants to luxuriate itself. But you need to do that by chasing your passion, not like self-medicating so that you can wake up and do your job the next day. Does that make sense? Some of you may end up working in a very Venus-like, Venus-driven career, right? Maybe it has to do with beauty and aesthetics or jewelry or clothing or artistry or painting or, landscaping or design, right? Those are very like Venus kind of sensual beauty, aesthetic type qualities, Taurus and Libra type stuff. And for some of you, because this is a Scorpio card, to me it says that could be transformational in your life. Just following your hunch on, well, I really love to do this, but is it practical? Could I make a career out of it? Do a little research, do a little Google search and see what comes up. Because I think when you align to something that makes you happy, it sets you down the right path. And I don't want to oversell these readings, but 10 of Swords to the 10 of Cups, and this card says, what options do you have? So any 7 is about assessment. Assessing what makes you happy, what brings you pleasure and joy. Something about that could be quite life-changing for you earth signs, okay? All right, guys, let me throw you one of these cards. I did this for the water signs, and I actually forgot for the fire signs. This is just like for those who are interested in like crystals and, doing crystal work or meditation, maybe carrying around a little good luck totem. We'll see what comes up in this crystal deck for earth. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. What can I tell my earth signs if they're looking to do any crystal meditation this week? They're not talking. Oh, too many. We're going to take this one. Why not? And I'm also really noticing this. Obsidian, strength and protection. We're going to read this one, though. Clear quartz for positivity and balance. It's associated with the astrological sign of Pisces and the month of April. The history and lore. In ancient times, clear quartz was widely believed to be a kind of frozen or fossilized water. It was something used in rituals to promote rain and thought to satisfy the thirst if held in the mouth. When carved into a crystal ball or a scrying glass, the stone was used by fortune tellers and psychics as means of receiving visions and divining the future. In Germany, an early name for the stone was, oh boy, Schweitzelstein, meaning vertigo stone, as it was thought to prevent the wearer from dizziness. So this stone of amplification, clear quartz, acts to magnify the properties of other crystals. It absorbs negative energy and reminds renders it harmless, while also releasing and enhancing positive energy. It regulates thought and emotion and provides stabilizing, cleansing influences. So get yourself some clear quartz this week, or just go into a little crystal shop and hold it in your hand for a few minutes, right? Don't tell the store owners I told you that, right? But anyway, that's what I got for you guys this week. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you Earth signs very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.